Hello there and welcome to my YouTube channel, Julia McNeil Crafts. So today is the day for Dawn and Julia Create, and Dawn has set the challenge today. So we are using this lovely cactus kit because both of us have multiple purchases of this. So Dawn's chosen a few things out of the kit. So we've got these 4 tags and these 2 sheets of paper which are reversible. We have this die cut sheet, then we have this paper here, okay, and this sheet, this one. So there's a few of my favourites in there, so that's all quite good. Dawn very kindly has allowed me a black pen. I have been constantly thinking about what sort of pen I could use instead, so I could have a fine liner too. Because the thought of making cards without doodling is killing me, but we'll have to manage. So this is my black liner. We've got the ribbon, feathers, which I'm not overly keen about, but you know, we'll see what we can do. And the brief is to make 10 A6 cards using this. So that's what we're both doing. So what I'm going to do is just pop all those die cuts out and then we can get started. Okay, so I have cut out my die cuts. I've also, popped them out. I've also cut out the flamingo that was on that page. And we'll pop that to the side. And then I've chopped this paper up as well because I'm going to use part of it as a backing. But what I did was that, let me see if I can get this right, yeah. That was there like that. But on that side of the paper, we had the sentiment here, see, so I chopped that off first to make sure that I could preserve the sentiment and the thing, but that's for another make. So I am going to go with this here. That's not the one I've chopped to size, this is. Okay, get myself in a pickle. I'm rolling on card 1. That bodes well, doesn't it? And I'm going to also tear a bit of this one. Now, Dawn is absolutely amazing at this sort of thing. This challenge is based on her. She does this thing every Monday where she makes 2 cards from one A4 sheet of paper and she completely limits her supplies. So she literally has 2 A4 sheets of paper and the only thing that she allows you extra is a sentiment, either like a little sentiment piece or a stamp with a sentiment. So I keep meaning to play along. I know I will at some point, but I keep meaning to play along. But this is kind of based on that, so I know that, you know, we're not getting lots of extras, so we are literally just going to be making stuff that, but out of the kindness of her heart, she has allowed me to have a black pen because she knows that I need to edge everything. And the minute I'm stressing about the no doodles, but you know, it's good to be challenged. I was challenged on the take 5 thing this month when I had to do something in 15 minutes. When I first heard about that, I was like, oh, I think we all were though. But we managed and it turned out okay. So, this is me edging, already making great use of this black marker pen, and that's just going to give me a little bit of definition. Now, as I was saying, Dawn is amazing at this. The other thing is, Dawn gives it an awful lot of thought. Like, she is very good at looking at her piece of paper and working out, well, I want this embellishment, but this bit of the design is an embellishment, but I also need to make sure that I leave enough for you know, to cover her backgrounds and stuff. And so I know that she will have thought this all through perfectly to make sure that she can get her 10 cards out. I am more of a wing it sort of crafter. So I'm just starting chopping into papers. I know it's probably going to bite me in the bum by the end of it because I'll not have an awful lot left to make my last few cards with. But hey, that's the challenge, isn't it? I suppose that's the good thing. That's the whole point of this challenge as well though, because you're seeing 2 people. I should have cut this bit out, but I wasn't sure if I was going to be keeping all his legs or whether I was going to be chopping them off, so I decided not to. So I've just made a little hole. Now I want to make him just I'm going to dress him up or her up, whatever she is. Yeah, is it him or her? Let's go for a her, then we can really... I want to kind of really make this flamingo a bit more interesting. I really shouldn't be doing this on camera because making 10 cards is probably going to be quite a long video. So I might speed some of it up. So I'm actually going to cut into her body a little bit. And then there's a few different die cut elements and flowers and bits and pieces, and I was thinking that we could give her a really funky look. So there's a wee dream catcher here somewhere. Actually, I'm just going to pause and get the bits I need. Okay, sorry, I just thought this video is probably going to be long enough without watching all the faff as well. So I'm actually going to cut this embellishment up. I'm going to take away the heart part so that we've just got these little feathery bits, and I'm going to chop into this, and let's give her a really funky tail. Okay, now the connection with my camera hasn't done that in ages, but it's now the connection with the camera's lost. Okay, sorry, my camera was having a few issues there, but while it was playing up, what I've done is I've cut out some little of these leaves and things and flowers from this paper. I also ended up chopping into this to get some of those small flowers as well. And what I've done is, because I think I'll do this off camera, is I've got a little bit of one of the feathers so I can see I've used it. And as I said, these were the bits of the dream catcher which I have chopped up. And I am just literally going to layer up all these different floral elements and elements that I've cut out into her like that, so that we've got a bit more of a funky flamingo. I'm also just going to shape those with my shaping tool. Once I've got her all glued back together, then I will finish the card off. Okay, so that's her all glammed up now. If you know me, you know I like my quirky birds. So I've actually planned to do a big one of this on the canvas, and I started it when Dawn, because I actually won one of these kits off Dawn. And then for some reason my camera didn't record it properly, and then I've never got round to finishing off the canvas, but I was doing something similar, that I was putting lots of extra bits into the tail feathers there. And I've shaped the actual flamingo as well so that they all sort of stuck in nicely. Now I'm just going to give her a little headdress. So I'm going to pop down I think maybe we'll pop down the flower first so we get that in the right place. And then we can pop the little leaves underneath it. Okay, oops. Like so, she says. Okay, maybe I would have been better doing it the other way around. Live and learn. Okie dokie. Right, and then you make me smile. I thought that's probably quite appropriate because it's looking quite funky. And then I had originally sort of cut these flowers out of this embellishment here to put on her head, but they were just a bit too big. So I'm going to just put it as part of the sentiment. Actually, I quite like the sentiment overhang in the card a little bit. So I will just put a bit of glue on that. Let me see. So I want it so that we can still read the smile. So I'll pop the yellow one over and then stick that one under a little bit and pop that down. And you know, we'll have almost made card number 1. Only 9 to go. I promise I'll not faff this much on all of them, but it's just I knew I wanted to do that with the flamingo, so I wanted to do it while I still had all the supplies. So I wanted that over a bit, didn't I? And then I was thinking that I might just do a little bit of the garland up there. Maybe just in the corner. Like so. Okay. And that's one card done. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just chop the bases ready for the next 2, I think, and then we can get started on those. Okay, so I've chopped up that bit of paper and already stuck it down because you don't really need to be seeing that. I've got a few pips on this, and then I've just pulled out a couple of embellishments that I think will coordinate. I think these will probably be quite quick and simple cards, so I think I'm just going to, yeah, see, that looks quite nice there. I'm just going to go for it. I'm not going to think too much. Sometimes we can overthink things. Oops, sorry, putting the foam on off camera. It must have been very interesting for you to watch. Oh, I do love this kit. Tropical and flamingos and stuff, they're so my thing. Absolutely love it. Okay, stick a bit of glue. I do that because that gives me a little bit of wiggle room. The other thing I did while I was off camera is these were scraps from when I cut the flamingo out on the last card. Those were just little bitties that I had left. So what I did was I just turned them into little banners so that I've got them for embellishments for other cards. And I thought the fact that we had the little stripe, I do love this paper because I like layering lots of things, and the layering's almost done for me. Like within one sheet of paper I've got this, and I've got the stripes and the pink, so that was kind of really go-to for a background for me. So that's why I've gone for that, and as I said, I felt that those little banner things would coordinate quite nicely. Okay. I'm going to end up running out of embellishments, but that's okay. Yeah, that was quite nice. I think I'll edge that though. Okay, I like to edge things with my black pen. I just think when you're layering lots of things, it really does make a difference. Now, that's bled a little bit. People ask me how I do it so accurately. Sometimes it doesn't quite work, but you know, we'll just redo that. It'll be fine. Sometimes getting in the edges there is a little bit difficult, so what I might do is I use the finer nib and just almost draw it on like so, and then that way you still get the fine line. Okay. Oh, have I done that off camera? I might cut that out with the editing. Right, let's stick this on. Like so, and then like that. Yeah, I think so. I'll pop a bit of 3D foam on the back of that one, just to give it a bit of dimension. Okay, bish bash bosh. Who'd have thought I could make a card so quickly? Right, that's one. I know I'm going to be absolutely when it gets to the last ones, because it's like I'm going really heavy with the embellishments here, but as I said, I just create. Dawn will have thought this through, so if you want to see how to really do this, check out Dawn, because I can tell you I'm going to be having to make something out of nothing by the end of it, but that's alright. I might give you ideas on how to use your scraps, because that's what we'll be working with. Okay, I'll stick that down, and yeah, let's just have that going straight across. The trouble is I've done that now with no dimension. Let's see, if I try, I know I'm going to make that more difficult to get the sentiment down, but it's just to give it a bit of interest. Flat, I think there's not enough layers in it for me to be completely flat. I don't think it needs a little bit of interest. Okay, I'll pop that down like so. I should still manage to make it work. I'll just have to be on different levels. It'll be fine. It's all good. It's all good. Right. I feel like I'm not actually saying anything interesting. House is quiet. I am actually recording this in July. This has probably got to be the furthest ahead I have ever been in making a video. I'm very proud of myself. Normally I'm winging it last minute, as you know, so like I feel like I've got all the time in the world. Right. Now normally what I would like to do is have little gems. I like little 3 dots of things, and I don't have them. Is there anything that I can do? Oh, look. Right, so all of these tags have a little dot in the centre. I just feel like I need some further embellishment. So I might be able to, because normally I would maybe just have a couple of gems somewhere just to finish it off. But I can maybe do it with these. Let's see. Oops. Is it the wrong way round? Yeah, I think that would work. I'll turn the camera, because that's going to be a fast sticking it down, so I'll turn the camera off and then I'll pop them down. Okay, so I've still got a tiny strip of this paper left, so I thought I'm going to use that and make a clean and simple card. So I've already done a black edging around another one of my cards. I'm just going to give this a little border. I'm also wondering whether to risk doodling with the other side of this pen. I usually use a fine nib, but this one does have, I'm just wondering if I hold it loose enough and high enough, whether it would, whether I could get away with it. We'll see. Right, so yeah, I'm just going to make a very clean and simple card with this. So there's going to be lots of white space. So I'm going to stick that down like so. A little bit of leakage of glue there. Hopefully once that's dry we'll not notice. Scrape it off. Okay, and then I've pulled out one of the tags. Actually, I think I kind of wanted that slightly, let's see, yeah, get it slightly under. I do like to faff. Okay, I'll pop that under slightly. Oops. Okay, and then I've got this little cactus in a mug, which I think is gorgeous. So I'm going to pop that on 3D foam. And then because we do have a lot of white space, I do feel like I need some doodling, so I am going to risk it. If it doesn't turn out, I'll pull the card apart so I still have the elements for another card. So, oops, keep putting the foam off camera. Right, let's see how we can get on with this. See if we can make it work. Okay. Kind of want to cover the dream catcher just because it doesn't really fit this card. Okay, let's go for it. So, I'm going to hold it quite high and very loose so that I can try and get a fine line. And it doesn't matter that it's juddering like that, it's actually going to look better, because if I try and aim for a straight line, I'm going to end up pressing too hard and it's going to be, that's actually going okay, there we go. Embrace the wibbly wobbles. Right, now I'm going to try and do my stitching. I'm just going to do a few little, I've gone a bit closer for doing that because, yeah. Okay, yeah, that kind of works. I'm wondering whether there's proper sentiment in it. It looks a bit heavy over that side. Yeah, should we try that? I think I'm going to be running out of sentiment soon. Kind of used most of them up. I do like a sentiment on things, so I think that's where my issues with that are. Right, I will turn that into a little banner. And just shorten that a little bit. And then we can have, that's why I tried to rescue that sentiment from the other bit of paper. Okay, so I'll pop that in behind there and then have it just overlapping the card slightly. So yeah, we've got a very clean and simple card there with lots of white space. So that's 4 down. I'm going to pause the camera, get a few more backgrounds and get going again. Okay, so card number 5. I have cut this cactus out of this paper here so that I can use it as an embellishment, and I think I'm going to go for another card with lots of white space. So I'm going to just chop this here so that I've got this, and I'm just going to create a little bit of torn paper effects. And as you can see, I am keeping all my scraps because I don't know what I am going to be doing, but like when I might need a little scrap for something or other to make something or other out of it, just to make this work, because as it says, I know I've gone quite heavy. I'm going to actually save that because I don't particularly want the, do I want the squiggle there? Let's see. Let's have a little see. And then I'm thinking we could just have something like that. Now because yeah, let's just go for it. I'm just thinking too much. And I think when you're making this amount of cards, you just have to stop overthinking and just get on with it, to be honest. I think this is a great way of stash busting, to be honest, is kind of having a challenge like this of using everything up, because quite often, like, we do end up saving our scraps, but if you can kind of use your scraps as you go, it sort of saves that hassle of having to do that. Oops. Because you're kind of using it as you go, so this is quite good. Whether I'll use every single bit within the 10 cards, I don't know, but I could maybe see what I can create with it once it's done. Right, stick that down, and then I'm just going to chop that off on this side, and then I will edge my card with black, because that is essential to life. Let's do that off. Okay. Just moved over slightly. Okay, where did I put my black pen? Here it is. Now I've just... Ooh. There we go. See, I do make mistakes when I edge, but it's alright, we'll just cover it over with something or other. It's not a problem. Okay, so I'm going to stick this bit of the cactus down flat, and as I said, I've kind of lost the spiky bits with chopping it out, so I'm going to doodle those back in. So that's quite easy, you just need to, oops, just going to sort of doodle those back in. Oops, maybe need my pen a bit higher, because I've sort of lost the spikiness, and that's what makes a cactus, isn't it? So I've doodled those back in. Then I'm just wondering whether those would make... Yeah, let's turn these into little funny cactus things. Why not? Yeah. Okay. Mix it up, because I don't really think I'm going to be using them as surfboards, to be honest. I don't completely see how those particular embellishments fit within the kit, to be honest. I struggled last time. Last time I was playing this kit. I do love it, but I did struggle with, like, what do I do with these bits? Let's turn them into a little funny cactus thing. So we could do that, and then where's my other bit? Here. Yeah, okay. More 3D foam. Losing pattern now there. Silent for about 2 seconds. My husband would like that. Anything to make Julia quiet. Okay. Well, 5 down. Once this one's done, that is quite an achievement. Another 5 to go. We're halfway there. So far we're managing okay. Right, I've got the little flowers that came all with it. So, let me see, I think I might just shape them a little bit. Or do I want to put those ones up here? And then I can, so we're not losing our little funky cactus leaf thing. Tropical. Oops. I think that's me definitely out of sentiments. So I'll be going the other half with no sentiments. That's okay though. Right, I just need to shape those flowers so that they're a little bit more interesting. Okay, that's that card finished there. I am now just going to reassess what I have I'm kind of running out of embellishments. There's the embellishments that I have left there. We've still got a couple of tags left and some strips of things. And then this is what I have left regarding the papers. So I am going to just have a little think and come back and do the next two. Okay, so I have cut this leaf from this paper here and another flower from there, and then I was just thinking that I am going to use this bit here as a as the background. Probably should have done that on my trimmer, but hey ho. I was going to do a torn edge this side anyway. Yeah, I need to straighten that on my trimmer, hang on a sec. Okay, so I've edged the card and torn the edge, but then I quite like that torn edge too. So what I'm going to do is just glue that behind it and then stick that down. Oops. So I'm going to just pop that there and then stick this down, and then we'll have a little bit of... Oh, doing that the wrong way, that's not so clever. Oh, I've been crafting too long. My brain stopped working. Can you ever craft too long? Sometimes I can. Sometimes I just get a bit fed up with it. Well, not fed up with it, but just almost tired so that I'm not enjoying it anymore. I need to move this over a little bit so I can actually see the pattern. Otherwise there's not much point in it, is there? Okay. I need to put more glue on that now. That's okay though. Right, stick that down. Stick this down. And we are good to go. Right. And then I'm going to stick, again, I've shaped these. I'm just going to stick that one down. I quite like things sort of hanging off at the edge of the card. And then what I was going to do was to use the ribbon, but as sort of little loops. Now, I'm hoping it's okay, because normally when I do this, I need to adhere it somehow. So I'm going to have to grab my stapler, because that's how I normally do it. I'm hoping that is okay, Dawn, and that's just part of like tools, because to me this is a tool, a bit like the guillotine and my scissors and things like that, but it's just to hold it together, because it's the most effective way I've found of doing this. She says, as my stapler, so it's not going to work. Hang on, try this one. I just find, for me, this is the easiest way of getting it to hold. Like, I can do it with glue and bits and pieces like that, but it just never seems to be as effective for me. So I'm going to chop those bits off there, because I don't want those peeking out. Oops. And then we will put our flower down on top of that. And a little bit of doodling, and that's another card done. And it also means I've used my ribbon, which is awesome. Right, I'm going to do a bit of doodling around the edge of this one, because I just feel it needs it a little bit. So we'll sort of go where the lines of the paper would go. Well, I never thought I'd be doodling with my Pro marker. So there you go. I've managed to achieve something that I wouldn't have tried otherwise if Dawn hadn't challenged me. So sometimes it is good to limit your supplies, because you learn sort of new techniques. I'm going to actually do some dotting as well, because I just feel like it maybe needs it. Quite often I would maybe do a splatter or something just to add a bit of interest, but obviously I can't, so let's do it this way instead. Now that will have gone through. I didn't think about that at the time. Oh no, it's not. That's not too bad, because I was going to say I might need an insert for that. Okay, so that's that one, and I'll have another little think now. Okay, so again I've edged my card and I've pulled out a few bits and pieces that I think will coordinate quite nicely. I've cut some more flowers out of that paper. So I'm going to do the same trick here and just layer up my torn edges. So I'll do that, and then I'm also going to grab tear some of the edges here from the bits that we have left and build that up, and then I'll be back once I've done that. Okay, I was liking how that was going so much, I decided to do a second one similar. So I've cut out some more flowers, and I've got some more bits and pieces. As a quirky thing, I've decided I keep doing things off camera. I've decided I'm going to chop this tag and sort of have it poking out the top, like so, just to give it an extra element of interest. Okay, so where's my toucan? I really wanted to use my toucan. So yeah, I've just got some of the extra little bits that I don't know. I'm just seeing what I can do with them. Let's see what we can. I should have glued that down as well. Normally I just stick my glue to the centre, but let's see. And then I kind of thought it was quite nice just having something like that as well. Now faffing. Thinking if we have him, so if I really want to use the toucan, I know that much. So I have to say, I've gone back to my other cards and done my fake splashes. Because I was like, oh, I wish I'd thought of that before. So yeah, I've kind of edited a few of the cards. I'm actually going to take that away. Yeah, it's too busy. Yeah, let's go for that. So I'm going to put a little edging around this and then stick it back down, just to tie it all together. Yeah, so I went back. I think sometimes limiting your supplies like this, although it can be a challenge, you know, when I realised that I couldn't have my doodle pen, I really was spending ages going, do I have anything with a chisel thing and a fine tip so I can still do my doodling? But you know what, I've stuck to the rules and I've created something, and then I always add doodles and black splashes to things. Now I've glued that a bit too far down. Just chop a bit of this off. But now I've thought of, you know, I've had to think outside the box a little bit, and I've managed to get my mixed media look just from a pen. So it does two things. It shows you don't need everything. So if you're starting out and you've only got a few supplies, it's amazing what you can make with a few supplies. I actually sometimes do challenge myself. When I worked on design teams, I really discovered this, because I was always like faffing about, spending ages looking for the right ink or a stamp that I thought would go really well with it. But see, when you've only got the kit that you're meant to be working with and nothing else, and there's something that you want to do, sometimes you really have to think outside the box to create that effect that you want. And that's good. It increases your creative mind, so you start thinking of other different things. It means you don't need everything. So, you know, you could go away, say like on holiday, with a pair of scissors and some tape and a pen and, you know, one of those little kits or something from the works, and that could be enough to make something with. So it is, I think it's good to challenge yourself, and this is partly why I love, like I do join in sort of challenges and things like that, and I love doing this with Dawn, because it is good for you, and it does make you maybe do something that you wouldn't have done otherwise. yeah, so I am really pleased with all of that, so that's good. And I'm quite delighted, so I'll probably do some fake splashes on this as well. Right, let's give the toucan a bit of shape just so he sort of stands out. So I'm just going to literally get in my nail and pulling that. Grab my 3D foam, yeah, so I can't wait to see what Dawn has done. I know that we'll have both come up with something really different, because we always do. And as I said, she's the queen of this. This is what she does. And I really would recommend every Monday she does this thing to, she quite often limits her supplies actually, I'm saying that. You know, on a Monday she does the 2 cards from 1 sheet of paper, and then quite often when she gets a magazine, she will just use the kit that came with the magazine and nothing else. And it's always amazing. She always makes the most amazing things. So I know that this is going to be right up her street and that she will do something amazing with it. So yeah, absolutely can't wait to see what she's done. So 3D foam, and then after I've made these 2 cards, although I've still got another 2 to make, I am going to go downstairs and get a cuppa because I am feeling quite, my throat's feeling quite dry. I've been up here and crafting and talking for a while. I have no idea how long this video is going to be. We'll find out. So if there's bits that are sort of randomly sped up with no warning, that's maybe why. It may be when I've gone to edit, I've realised actually that's going to take forever and nobody can endure a 5-hour long video watching me have a lovely time. Those borders are a bit heavier than I would have wished. And do you know the reason why? Because I'm holding it there and not there. So when I held it further away, I got a much finer line, and so that's where there's been an issue. Look, see now if I hold that further away, I'm going to get a much finer line there now. So that's kind of what I was talking about. Because I've just gone, oh, that's a bit thick. Didn't really like that, and that's the mistake that I've made. Right, I'm going to do some of my fake splashes. I'm trying to just, because the thing I like about splashing is that it is random. You can't really guarantee where something's going to land. And as much as you might think you're dotting in a random way, our brains like patterns and things like that, so it's very difficult. So the best thing is to not think. Don't think about it too much and just dot. And hopefully we'll end up with something that's a little bit random. Okay, so that's this one. Now, this one's probably going to be a lot more floral. Now, I do have some tags left, but they're cream, and I'm going against a white card, which is just a bit unfortunate. I don't think that looks right. So, I quite like that going. I'm going to tear the edge as well, because I want it to look like it's part of what's going on above it there. So if I just kind of tear the edge and mark that with a black marker, like so, then hopefully that'll just kind of look like part of what's going on with that backing paper. Okay, and then I have these 2 flowers here, which we can maybe Right, I'm just going to shape these flowers, and so I get a better idea of them. Okay, so I have cut out some more bits and bobs, and I have shaped my flowers. So again, this is from the floral sheet that I've been sort of hacking into through this whole process, and so I'm just doing that, and as I said, I've already shaped it. And then I really like the way the tag looks there. But as I said, the ones that I've got left are cream, and that wasn't working for me. So what I've actually done is I have created a fake top out of some of these papers. And the trouble is, now I've done that, I'm thinking that, right, normally I glue things much further down, but I think I'm just tired and needing. Actually, what we can do is we just chop that down a bit more, so I don't have to force it down quite so much. Yeah, I think I'm just needing a break and a drink. I think I've been at it too long, so my brain's not in gear. But I'm almost done. Let's move that across. Okay. And then after I did that, I was like, actually, that would have looked better on this one. So now I'm about to try and pull this one off here. Which I might have to do off camera. Hang on. Let's just try tearing it out. It seems I've got all those torn edges anyway. See, where there's a will, there's a way. Right. And I'm going to pop that one behind it instead. And again, because I've kind of sort of glued that down a bit further than it should be, I'm going to just chop that down so that I don't have as much to try and tuck under. But yeah, I think that'll look better. Like so. Okay. Right. It's okay to change your mind after you've made something. Okay. Same but different, I think we've got going on here. Right. Let's just trying to balance that so it looks okay. And then we have some little pink leaves that I've looked out as well. Okay. Yeah. Okay, and then I've created a little ribbon out of the same striped paper that I've done my little tag from, which I'm just going to put along there. Now, I've been really conscious of the fact that, you know, to save my scraps and to use them and be creative to create elements, and I realise now I've only got 2 cards to go and there's some paper bits that I haven't even touched yet. So that's, yeah, not as unexpected. Let's give this a bit of a flower in the corner. Okay, now I am just going to put these 2 cards side by side. I know I'm not saying my style's right, because everybody has their own and everything is beautiful in its own right, but I'm just going to put those side by side. Now to me, that one looks finished, and it's just because when something is framed, your eye is drawn into the centre, so the more you can sort of do with that, the more you're going to draw the eye in, and I think that's why I really like doing all of the borders. Now I am going quite squiggly with this one, but that's also because I've got those squiggles in the torn edges, so it sort of marries, it works. So I'm just doing my doodling, and I will be doing my fake splashes again. See, too close, too close. It's because I'm not used to using this pen. But, you know, I'm still quite happy with the results so far. So I'm going to do some fake splashes around this here. Just to, and as I said, I am trying really hard not to think. If you think about when you actually do splashes with paint, you have no control over where it's going. As we all know, because it ends up all up my wall and all over my iPad and things like that. So it's trying not to think too much so that you get the same sort of effect. I've got ones that have turned out, yeah. So I'm just going really quick. And that's, so those are my next 2. I am now going to go and get a cuppa and get my voice back a little bit, and then we'll make the last 2. Okay, so down to the last 2 cards. I have used this paper because I've not used it yet, and I've already cut the mat and stuck it down. And now I am going to do some ripping and tearing to break up the card a little bit. Just in the centre there. And we're almost there. I think for the last card, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do for the embellishments, but we'll work that out in a little bit. I kind of pulled lots of stuff that coordinates here. I was trying to decide whether I wanted a black edging to that, but I'm not going to do that. And this time I'm going to stick to having the glue in the middle, because it makes it much easier if you want to start popping things behind. Okay, grab some scissors. So, Okay, and then I thought I have cut out some more flowers from that piece of paper that I've been cutting all the flowers out from. So I've not got much left on it, no big flowers, we're sort of down to the foliage now. But that's alright. So I'll pop that there. Then I will get some 3D foam for this one, for the pineapple. Just to give that a little bit of extra dimension. And we'll pop it up. So I know the first thing that I will be doing will be popping across to Dawn's channel. I think we both wait for 4 o'clock to arrive so that we can see what each other's done. Because we don't actually let each other, like we know the prompts and or the brief, and we know the stash, but we don't actually see what each other's made until you do. So that's always quite fun. So we're always like desperate. As soon as 4 o'clock comes, we're kind of desperate to pop across and see what each other has done. So I'm thinking that I'm going to put some of these flowers next to it. I'm wondering whether to have a little pop of pink there as well. This was the centre of the dream catcher. It's not a very even heart, but I'm sure if we just trimmed around that and made it into a heart ourselves, that would be fine. Just because, as I said, it had the dream catcher bit, so it's a bit bumpy. But love pineapples. And then I suppose if we did that, could you maybe have a bit of pink? Stuck that down here, that's okay. Not here, so I thought about it. Should we have a bit of, yeah, let's put a bit of splash of pink in there. I'll just tuck that in. Well, I'm saying I love pineapple. Actually, I do love pineapples. I also really enjoy a pina colada, but I do like pineapples. Chew. I think I'll tuck it under. It's nicer under because then I think you see the layers better. So we'll just do that. Pop that under. And then I'll have to do the same on that side, but I may as well use those little bitties there. Okay. So pop that under here. Trouble is, because I've recorded this so early, I'm going to have to wait like more than 2 weeks now to see it. See what Dawn's done. Normally I'm thinking about it the day before because that's that's when I'm making it. But you know, I'm being super organised. I'm still crafting just before I go on holiday, but at least I'm actually doing this well in advance. This isn't actually needed till 2 weeks before I come back. Right, and we'll pop another bit of, I should probably chop that, be a bit easier. Foam on there to bring that up even higher, and then I think I will do some, maybe not, I don't want to cover the whole pineapple. Okay, and then I'll do some, let's see if I can do, now I've been doing squiggly lines, let's see if I can do faux stitching. So we've got dot, squiggle, dot. Not quite as effectively as it, and I've just noticed it's because I'm holding it really high. I bet if I did it low, I bet if I did it higher, it'd be fine. So just add a little bit of stitching detail there. Okay, last card. I'll be back in a second. Okay, so I've put my mat down. For this card, I feel like I've got a lot of paper and not an awful lot of embellishments. But we'll see how we go. So I'm just going to chop that because I don't need that extra bit. Okay, so I was thinking that we can do, I quite like the pink and grey together. This was a heart, see I really don't have much left at all. This was a heart that was left over from doing the dream catcher. And I have a leaf. Not sure what that does, and I've got a couple of little branchy things there. Let's see if putting a feel like we're going to have to do something with the papers just to bring this to life a little bit. So maybe if we can add some more detail with that, add a bit more colours in. Now, what I should have, hopefully, is, yes, we have flowers on here. Awesome. Right, I am going to do a bit of fussy cutting and I will be back in a minute. Okay, so I've cut out a few of those flowers. I've also cut myself a little ribbon. So I'm just going to attach it through the heart. So I'll put a bit of glue there, just stick it to the heart, she says. Doesn't matter if it leaks through a little bit because I'm going to put some floral decorations over that. And I am, I'll put a bit there. I'm also wanting to raise the ribbon up a little bit, so I'm going to stick that part down flat for just now. And then I'm going to get a bit of, I kind of want to do that. So I'm going to pop a little bit of glue, and then I will pull it out and do that. Okie dokie. Just for a bit of interest. And then I'm going to put these flowers, which I have cut out and shaped. So I have to say, I don't have a huge amount left, but I'm surprised I actually had anything left at all, to be honest. The way I was going at the beginning of it, I was thinking, oh my goodness, I'm going to use everything up on the first card. But that's kind of, that's the way I craft. I can't plan too far ahead, that just doesn't work for me. So it was a bit too much of a bump there, so I'm bringing that back down. Now, I've kept some flat because I was thinking I might just sort of tuck some behind here. She says. There we go. And I've got a little one here. I'll tuck those behind, and then I will do the same at the bottom just to give it a cohesive look, so it looks intentional as opposed to just randomly sticking random bits. So it doesn't look like we're working with the leftovers, which is pretty much what we're doing now. Okay, I'm going to put in these little pink ones. Like so. I think it looks alright, considering I didn't think I had much left. Right. And then I have got this sort of pink foliage thing, which I will maybe tuck under there, like that. So I'm putting glue both sides because one will stick to the base of the card and the other will stick to that flower just there. And then I have another little bit just here. Okay, so I think that's pretty much done my last card. I will just do the doodling around the edge and then I will pull all the other ones in. Okay, that is my 10 cards there. This is what I have left. Not a huge amount, but enough to do something with. So what I might do is do a follow-up video to this with the leftovers, where I might just make some paper embellishments and stuff with that, so that I've used the whole thing. But those are my 10 cards. Thank you to Dawn for setting this challenge. It was fun. It's something I probably wouldn't have done without your encouragement, so thank you very, very much for that. Do pop over and see Dawn because she is amazing. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here today, please do consider liking and subscribing, and I will be back again very soon. Okay, take care then, and goodbye.